A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Mark. Some Pharisees and some Herodians were sent to Jesus to trap him on what he said. And they came and said to him, "Teacher, we know that you are sincere and show difference to no one, for you do not regard people with partiality, but teach the way of God in accordance with truth. Is it lawful to pay taxes to the emperor or not? Should we pay them or should we not?" But knowing their hypocrisy, Jesus said to them, "Why are you putting me to the test? Bring me a denarius and let me see it." And they brought one. Then he said to them, "Whose head is this and whose title?" They answered, "The emperor's." Jesus said to them, "Give to the emperor the things that are the emperor's, and to God the things that are God's." And they were utterly amazed at him. The Gospel of the Lord. Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ. So, brothers and sisters, yesterday, as I mentioned, we returned to the ordinary time, which is the time when Jesus teaches us. And we began the ordinary time with the feast of Mary, the Mother of God, with her words, "Do everything as he tells you," and that he is her Son, Jesus Christ. And today is our first very strong and very important lesson. See, Pharisees and Herodians come to Jesus, which means they are people that are leaning politically towards Herod and think that Herod the king should have all his power. Remember, we're talking about times when Israel was under the dominion of the Roman Empire. And therefore there is that struggle for freedom. And what these Pharisees are doing in their questioning Jesus and putting him to the test, like the evangelist tells us, they're mixing religion and politics. They're actually using religion as a tool to do their little political schemes and go against the emperor in this case. And Jesus sees through that, like he sees through all of our hearts and all of our intentions, and asks them openly, "Why are you putting me to the test?" And then he clears something up. He said, "Bring me a denarius." And obviously he says that important sentence that what is the emperor's gift to the emperor? What is God to God's? Why? Because he tells them, do not use religion as a tool to do politics. Do not mix the two as if they are tools to interchange between each other. But very often, especially from our times, listening to that, we fall into another wrong interpretation. We say what Jesus wanted here was the full separation of church and state. And that's not true either. Because in that thinking, we would say that both the church and the state are equal to each other, and they're not. Because see, faith is what gives us the point to our lives, the final goal. And that goal is always the most important thing, our salvation, our return to God. And any other structure in our lives, whether it is a political structure or it is a state structure, a country rule, they're supposed to be tools for us to reach that final goal. That's why God doesn't say look at them as equal and separate them from each other. But remember your main goal in life. And make sure everything in life, whether it's politics or state or country or my own personal rules or routines, make sure the goal is still through faith, your salvation, you're doing good, you're spreading charity. And that's why, yes, politicians have to remember that as well. And us who enter into politics, we can't kind of forget and say, okay, morality doesn't count here because it's politics. No, it does. And that's why in our choosing politicians, in our keeping them in line and transparent, accountable, we have to ask ourselves, are you remembering what your goal is? To do good for society. To be, like it was said to Jesus, non-partial. And let us remember that in our own everyday lives as we make decisions, as we become leaders, and take roles that are supposed to guide ourselves and others towards God. Have a blessed Tuesday, and God bless to you all.